Hello, everybody. Welcome to Clouds of Wisdom. We have an important step on this dark moon coming up. We're moving into the Chinese lunar new year of the wood snake. So there is kind of a energy shift that is even again important. When we compare the solar year and the lunar year, we can say the solar year is more connected to our consciousness, to our mind, and the lunar year is more connected to the female side, intuition, creativity, the female reception. And this is going to be a very interesting year again. Once again, that's what the Chinese say. It's a curse to live in interesting times. So we have some really interesting stuff going on. What I want to first a little bit explain, there is this big talk about this alignment, this big alignment, whatever. I cannot really agree. I think that is more, again, like a little bit, it feels for me, at least, for me, that is like this whole New Age blah, blah that's going on. And I would like to show you a few pictures of past charts that I have, including the one that is right now. You will see a bit later about alignment and what is alignment anyway. So I have a picture here that you should see by now, which is a picture. Why is this still up here? Okay. That is from Thursday, 4th of November, 2021. And I just browsed through a few. See, we can say that it's kind of similar. The planets are all on one side of the horoscope, and we have also these conjunctions that we have. So that's an alignment too. And I can go forth through different charts. See, we have different charts. This too, all the planets are more or less on one side. Here too. So this is not something that is something very rare or very special or very seldom. Here too, there is not exactly, but when you compare it afterwards with the chart we have in the moment, when you look at the real star constellation, see, for example, you see where the planets are. Here is the sun. Here is Mercury. We can see here is Mars, and there is here this line, and that's where we observe where our planets are. They're always aligned more or less on the same line. If I would cut the line here by the sun and stretch it out or anywhere, you have always kind of this line of planets. So I just want to show you that, and don't be. It's just like, I don't know if it's just about to for certain people to be important or what, or I really don't get it. So when we look at the chart now, and I will go into my astrology program now, what chart we have, this does not look so very much different, right? See, we have on one side is nothing, and here we have conjunction, 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 which actually you have, if you want to, even you can go back in the video and you have a look, you see in other charts too. So what we have here, the beginning of the Chinese New Year, now we have the energy, the sun and the moon conjunction, which is the dark moon. This is when sun and moon is in conjunction. This is not new moon. And this is also something that is usually in Western astrology. They call it new moon. The new moon is the third day of the dark moon when the new moon crescent is coming up. So that's also not the same. And then here we have another conjunction, which is very important and very powerful, is Pluto with Mercury. And I will go into a little bit details about that, what that means for this coming year now, because I think this is the really important part of it. And when you look at the colors here and in the side, we have only one fire. This is earth, water, air, and Uranus is in fire. Uranus is a planet connected to the element of air and fire. This is explosive. And Uranus is actually the planet that represents all kind of explosions on the material level. On the higher level, when you look at it from a spiritual point of view, it is the connection to the divine self, to spirit. And when we have Uranus in Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, sorry, we have here, see, it's already on 24 degrees, but still in the first sign. This has started a while ago because Uranus is moving quite slow. So we see that a whole new spiritual paradigm is reaching the Earth now. And that is what has happened over the last years. And when we have now in this Chinese New Year horoscope, that only fire sign that is here, but a lot of earth sign, and we have the wood snake, which makes a lot of sense. But this is the inspiration, the fire that's going on. And when we are moving into a step of more reception, and we have the sun, moon, Mercury, and also here we have Pluto, and the MC, the goal, what we have to reach, everything is in earth signs, and this is even in Capricorn, which is the last earth sign, which is the material death. When we start with each signs, like we have the 4 elements, always the first sign of an element is the beginning. The second sign of the element is the expansion, when it's going up and expanding, and then it declines again, like everything in a circle. And the last one of the signs is always the one that is the end of a cycle, the end of something, like it is fire, earth, water, it doesn't matter. So we have, these planets are all in the last sign. And this is the material sign. That's why it is green here, so the color can help you to identify that better. So it shows in so many ways the end of something. And the goal is ending something. And here we have the 9th house, which is here with the main planets, the 4 planets that we have here. Then this is the personal connection that we have together with Pluto. This is the final transformation. So you can expect this year to be quite changing on many, many different levels. So it's not just that we see changes on the political level, or even like different health, different anything that is coming up. It is that big disclosure of everything, and that everything goes back thousands of years. We have known already, and I talked about that we've been living in this false matrix that has been implemented or kind of put in front of the divine matrix. And especially in the situation of death, people tell you, go to the white light, go to the white light. But the white light is the trap. The white light is what the dark ones put in front of the real divine gate to the other side. So they are kind of held back in between in the astral realm and need to reincarnate, this kind of recycling program. Sorry, it sounds weird, but that's kind of what it is. So this program is now the gate is falling, and it would have been always easy to move. You just have to move beyond and go to the other gate, but religion or whatever, they told us go to the white gate, so most people did that. And why I know, I know that question that comes again and again, because I have been medium for some time from some rescue missions that we rescued souls that were trapped on Earth. And I did that by myself, traveling in different places to do that. And I have done that with a good friend of mine who was here once. We did that for a couple of weeks, more or less every day. She guided me and helped me to also get some reptilians and stuff like that. And I saw that in this realm, how these two gates, the real gate that is here, and the second gate that is put in front of it. So if you just go straight ahead, you move into the wrong gate. The gates, huh? Let's just look at the name, different gates, kind of wrong way. Wordplays again. Anyway, now we have this conjunction here, these two conjunctions in the ninth house. Ninth house is connected with Sagittarius, but see here the house starts already in Sagittarius, but the planets are in Capricorn. So the arrow in Sagittarius in the sign shows that you have to go beyond the horizontal level, that is beyond the linear way, the linear way of seeing things, but it is the way going up. We can say you have to break through the mundane, to break through the dogma and the standing under what is the brainwash. So we have to comprehend, I say here, or understand. And I still mix up the words, I'm sorry, but English is also not my native language, so it's even more difficult. So we have to comprehend here what is going on, that our ego is within a phase of transformation. Now, when we look at the Pluto topic, now the interesting thing is, look at the symbol of Pluto. We have the moon, we have the sun, and we have the cross. Look at Mercury, we have exactly the same elements. The only difference is that here the sun is inside of the moon, and here the moon is on top of the circle of the sun of the consciousness. So that means when we look in a higher perspective at Pluto, then Pluto's representing the female, the goddess aspect of the pregnant womb before giving birth, before materializing something. So this is the process of in a way, of being pregnant, of giving, growing something new within the womb of the goddess to give birth to that being. So we are being reborn at the same time in this lifetime, but this time without losing the body. And this is the journey also if you go into mythology, and this is all based on mythology. Also, you see the name, and Pluto is actually the wrong name, but I use it because people are used to it. So when we can see here the whole transformation that's going on, and when you look at the Mercury symbol, this is how a human being functions. We receive information, input. It can be through the eyes, through the ears, anyway, senses, we receive information. And then the sun, the second part, we process it in one or another way and materialize it. And also the process of materialization can be many. It can be, you talk about it, the communication. This is Mercury also as the ruler of Gemini, which represents communication. That is a very straight form of just communication, but also any kind of art is communication. We can also say, like if you create whatever it is music, it is artwork, it is building a house, planting a garden. It's all kind of communication with the world outside of us, which is actually not really outside. We know that too, but it's very difficult for our brain to comprehend what is really going on. Now, when you have this conjunction, this is literally that we move beyond physical boundaries, dogmas, beliefs, to transform our beingness into something else that we have been. And here I refer again to the metaphor of the butterfly, that we have been the caterpillar creeping here and being slave. Now we are dying and being rebuilt and grow wings to become a flying being, so we can look down at the earth and not creep on the earth anymore. So this is very, very profound what we have here. And then we have here the yin and the yang, sun and moon, female, male, together here in the conjunction is like, and that's also something I talk about again and again and again. It might be boring already, that I say it's all about balancing. The interesting part is that when we have that seventh house, which is what we connect with the outside world, in a way, the whole outside world is here in the seventh, the seventh house here, the sixth house, what we work on to move forward. This part here is the touch of the outside world, and that we have to balance the inside and the outside, which is connected here with the planet Venus here, that is in Pisces, with the ruler of Pisces in conjunction. So this is the part that is happening in the unseen. And we can see that Libra is not connected with any house, is enclosed in the sixth house. So the work that is happening with the balancing aspect is, for most people, not conscious. And you cannot touch it. It's going to happen if you want it or not. And it is really important that we have to see that wherever we are in the moment, in what situation, partner-wise, work-wise, whatever it is around us, location-wise, that it has a reason, that this is the place that we have to transform and balance that last karma. And there is no running away. There is no way that you can escape it. Whatever difficulties present yourself in the moment, this is what you have chosen to experience right now. And then you see here we have this beautiful triangle into Jupiter. That means that this is the moving beyond and starting here with the Taurus as AC to manifest the new. But first, the old has to die. And you know, when I see around, and when you look at also people around you, we are so much stuck in this old dogma. We are so much stuck. It's actually not that old. This whole brainwash that has happened over the last few decades, we say, even if the false matrix goes back much, much longer, but especially in these last decades, when the dark ones have already very clearly known that we arrive at the end of this cycle, they have tried everything. They sped up all their effort to make that it is not happening, that they can lose the game, that their game here is over. But as everything has a beginning and has an end, as long as it is manifested in any way. And see, for example, our souls are eternal, but our bodies are not. Our bodies as an individual, as this personality that we are here. And persona in Latin means mask, costume. So most people identify, I'm a person, or even, you know, it's not like my name is. Most people say I am, and then they say their name. I am this and I am that. I'm a lawyer, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a whatever. But that's not who you are again. You don't say I'm my hand, right? You know you have a hand. The same is with the body. The same is I have a profession I work as. And it is also in the language. Language has energy. Language is magic. So, for example, what we say I am, we create. So it's okay to say I'm a nurse, but that's not really what you are. You may identify yourself with being that nurse for a certain time, but beside the nurse or the doctor or vendor or the entrepreneur or whatever you are or you're doing is not who you are. And it is so difficult to differentiate that. We have it, like my mother tongue is German. And we have not the saying, I am hungry. I say in German, literally translated, I have hunger. Or I have feelings, but not I am my feelings. And this is in English more difficult because this I am statements, this is also coming with the brainwash that we say that because that's what we created. And I hear so many people saying, oh, I'm sick and tired of this and that. And of course they get sick and tired because they say it all the time, I am sick and tired. Or when we look at another part of it is like, don't worry, be happy. This was such a slogan. But that the cosmos, the energy of negation cannot be manifest because the negation itself has no energy. So what you say instead, don't worry, be happy, say worry, be happy. So you can be only happy when you worry. There is a lot of such things are in the air. And now see what we have. And we have this ball of Capricorn here with the balancing that is like to come to the inside, to start to see slowly with all the disclosure of what is really happening within and without. And we can see that within us, if you learn to listen again to that voice of inspiration, here is the fire, okay? And Uranus is inspiration. And this inspiration, the voice of your higher self, the voice of your God self, of the divine, whatever you can call it, angels, guides, whatever it is, that is the most important thing, and that will bring you to that new beginning, that all manifested. And it is manifested in a sign of an earth sign, a material sign that is dying now. So if you hold on, you're in trouble. If you hold on and if you try to save what is dying, it's like when you have any kind of rotten body, piece of meat, whatever it is, and you just want to keep it, and then it's out there, it starts to rot. You cannot prevent it. And then it stinks. And that's exactly what is happening. And this is like, it's smelling really bad in the world when you look from that perspective, what is going on. And this is why that disclosure and the wild card of Mr. T is so incredibly important. And it doesn't matter how it looks in the moment from political or ethical, whatever standpoint you look from. Some things that he is doing seems, oh, wow, great, great, great. And some others people, oh, no, oh, for heaven's sakes, no. It is all serving the same purpose. It is all serving the purpose of kicking us out of the routine. You know what? It's not the world that has to change. It's not happening. It's you and me. We have to change because we create the world. We are the creators and co-creators of our reality. So the reality cannot change if we don't change. So if I have a negative attitude and I say it's going to be bad anyway. So of course you attract it. It's going to be bad anyway. But if you have a positive outlook and you expect something good and you focus on something positive, that's what will manifest in your life. Like this is the thing about fear. As long as your consciousness generally is fear-based, that is a negative energy that has no light, as long as it is there, you will experience negative things happen. And even if you are in a positive way and negative things happen, you don't see them as bad. They might be negative, yes, within the duality is good and bad, and what you want, what you don't want. But if you move into polarity, where just this yin and yang, breathing in, breathing out, you cannot say breathing in is good and breathing out is bad. You need both. And so that's it. Even if something negative happens, is not bad because you see that it has to happen. And especially now in this time, when it is so important to let go of the old, to let go of the paradigm, to balance. And you know, it's so difficult to reach the energies of Venus, yet it is coming really like through the gut feeling. And here is our karma. You see the orange line here with Saturn that reinforces it and says you have to go through it. Yes, you have. And it's not bad because you have chosen to be here. That was your free will when you choose to incarnate here exactly this time, because you wanted to experience that transition, that ascension. And now it's up to you to choose the timeline where you're going to move forward. And if you resist, you're not going on the highest timeline. Even if everything is ascending and the false matrix is falling, we still have many, many different timelines. Like it's like when you go to a new school, you have still the freshman and then the second year, third year, or whatever. So the higher your consciousness is, on the higher timeline you go, or you start anew. And I also, from my understanding, is that a lot of really bad, negative people who don't have any life energy left without being fed, like those demons and other beings that can only be alive because they are fed by beings, because they steal their light, their life energy, they will just disappear. It is like when I turn on the light, the darkness is gone, right? So if I go with the light in the shadow niches and I put the light, this shadow is gone. But as long as we have material objects and as we live a material life, there is still light and dark. But again, we have to differentiate between polarity and duality. Again, breathing in, breathing out, day and night, rain and sun. We need both. We cannot live with only one. But it has to be balanced and not judged. But if you come with the judgment first, and this is the biggest lesson that we have here now, that is to let go of this false understanding of the polarity and put it into that really the aspect of the false matrix of duality, whereas duality is judgment. Now, what is happening here with Saturn here? See, we can see here Saturn is in Aquarius, and the only fire sign, I said a fire aspect we have here in a planet is Uranus. So they kind of fuel each other here. And this is like a Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, who is the ruler, we can say death, the ruler that will bring down all that material petrified stuff for dogma and these rules, is fueled by divine inspiration. And if we listen instead of that and let the old go, it will help us to really discover the new, and then we will be empowered. Here we have Mars in Gemini, but also retrograde. And I said before, you might remember, there is no planet really going backwards, but it looks like those three are retrograde. It looks like because we have the sun in the center of the system and the Earth is circling around the sun and the other planets too. So at one point through the movement, it seems when you observe from the perspective of the Earth that other planets are going backwards, but they're not really going backwards. It's just because we are moving too, and we are not in the center like the sun. So every time when these energies are retrograde, it means that it's going inside and not outside. We have to focus inside and not outside. And so the beauty is that Mercury, the retrograde Mercury, it will not in that way explode into a physical war outside. It is kind of the war within us. And this is that kind of that energy that is within us. We have the choice what to do with it. You know, energy is neutral. It is like a fire. It's just energy. It's warm. And you can transform that into aggression, for example, if it's held back, if it's going out of control, if you put gasoline inside of the fire. So it's again up to us what we do with that fire inside, if we are able to keep it under control. And this is like, see, it's in Gemini, it's about communication. And again, remember, Uranus is the only fire sign that a fire planet that we have in the moment. So if we are in constant contact with our higher self, with the divine within us, with our guidance, with our angels or guides, whatever you believe in, words don't really matter. How you call them does not really matter. And so if we are in contact and communication with them, here we have Saturn, we have Uranus, we have Venus, that will bring us the breakthrough to clear that karma, to clear that hardened shell around us that was holding us back, Akka, the false matrix, that we move now into that new divine organic matrix again, where we can be what we originally were when we went into having an experience in the polarity of a material world. There was no good and bad. There was yin and yang. And that's where we're going back. And that's what is called in that way the golden age, when we have all these things that hold people back are not there anymore. And I also can see for the future, I know that a lot of people have problem with EMF and all these things. And this is a very, very important things that we also have to look at to keep ourselves as healthy as possible, to protect ourselves from this negative rays. The moment when the false matrix is completely gone, and is even those people who still hold it upright because of their habits and beliefs, when this all is gone, then there will be a technology that will be benevolent for human beings. And we won't have to work with hard labor 8 hours a day or whatever. We will have time for creativity. We will have time to live our life, to really have a quality life, and not just have to strive for a paycheck. And this is what is coming. This is that transition within this year, that when you again look at the lunar year, look at the wood, look at the energy that we have in this year, we are manifesting our personal future and the future of the whole. Since we are parts of the hologram, when I change, the hologram changes. And that's the key. Don't look out. And you can look out in politics. It's kind of really interesting. It's really like a movie out there. And it's sometimes really funny to listen to them and to hear what they say. And yeah, well, here, yeah, it's really amazing. But anyway, I don't want to say more here. I could talk about that for hours, but it's not the place here. So let's recap. We have here Uranus, the retrograde Uranus. See, that's what the R is here. It's just actually moving a little bit at the end of Aries. And this is so important that it's not already in Taurus. because that is still that breakthrough energy, that fire energy that helps us within us, that war kind of that is raging within us. The expansion has to be within us. We have to start the naturalization within our shifting of consciousness, shifting of belief, shifting of dogmas first before it can happen in the outside. And I guess that this is really the key. This is the most important thing we have to look at in the moment. Be aware of that. It's up to you. It's up to me how I create my life, my future. Right now, this is so important. Please don't forget that. Don't expect Mr. T or Mr. K or whoever all these big guys are out there now. They are part of the game. But if it's really changing for you or not, that depends on you. And if we are really moving in the right direction, the mass ascension will happen. But the good news is also that more and more people are waking up in this rattling energy that we are in the moment. And this is why we have more time, and it is kind of the whole process is being delayed a bit. That it doesn't go so fast, because the more people are awake, the more light is happening here, the less the dark ones are able to hijack souls into another false matrix. So it's really great what is happening. Please stay tuned, be strong, but be soft at the same time. Be willing to change. Be willing to look at things with new eyes. Try to understand what is happening now. Because now it is really, we are really at that final, very important stage where you determine where you're going now. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a little bit of clarity about what is really going on. Don't go for all these games outside. Double check within yourself. And whenever you have a chance, you have an oracle, whatever to consult, do it. Because this is something that can help a lot in the moment to give you more clarity. I wish you a wonderful time with this ascending moon into the wood snake, and a fantastic year, a fantastic lunar year. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.